Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Swipe. Today we are back with another new video in that DBMS series. Today we'll be seeing about EF quadrants. Wonder who is EF Quad? EF Quad is father of DBMS. Like we'll see why he is father of DBMS and what he proposed and what are these rules to be followed in DBMS in detail. Okay, let's get started. EF Quad is a popular computer scientist. Like he proposed 13 rules, popularly known as Scott's 12 rules. Like indicates from 0 to 12. Okay, they help to test DBMS concepts against the relational model. Like you see with uh, different data models in the previous videos, like we also have a relational model, right? If Court's rule actually defines what's the quality of the DBMS we are using, like it may be an RDBMS, like Relational Database Management System, or a DBMS, anything. Like how many rules it actually follows, it defines the quality of this DBMS. Like there is hardly any commercial follow that follows all the 13 quadrants nowadays. So Oracle, the famous software, also follows 8.5 out of 13. So this is why father of DBMS, like he have proposed the rules in such a way that provides and determines the quality of the DBMS. Let's see about each of them in detail. So there's a pictorial representation. If you see with this rule, foundation rule, information rule, guaranteed access rule. If you keep on, we'll be studying all these 13 rules in this video. Like these are all not like so important. Like you need to learn all these COTS 12 rules. You have to say one on one. It's not like that. It's better you just know about these rules. Like what it actually is, like what's the essence and concept of it, but not each and every rule how we use it. But if you find developing the DBMS, you should go through of all the rules and check whether it satisfies of most of the rules. Okay, let's see in detail. The rule 0 states that for any system to qualify as an RDBMS, it must be able to manage database entirely through relation capabilities. Like it should always possess the relation between the entities or between the objects, anyone. And if you see with the rule 1, information rule, all information including metadata, you know about metadata. What is metadata? It's data upon data. Like it's completely rules. Wherever you go, whatever you read, the rule will be same, like a principle or a statement. It to be represented as a stored data in cell of tables. Like all the data should be stored in tables. That means rows and columns have to be strictly. So this is information rule and the foundation rule over there. Now, the rule 2 is guaranteed access. Like each piece of data, any data should be accessed by. Like if you see with a data, like I am say RAM, this RAM belongs to the table name student and the primary key name and the attribute, like which row, which column, everything should be guaranteed access. Like not via pointer like address, but by using the table name, primary key, and the attribute. And the rule 3 is systematic treatment of null values. Null has several meanings like missing data or not applicable value or a no value. Like we should always handle consistency. So, a primary key must not be null and it should always consist at least single value. Like you need to systematic treatment of the null, right? If you see with the rule 4, active online catalog, that is database dictionary, that it's the structure and description of the complete database and it must be stored online. So the catalog must be governed by the same rules as the rest of the database. Like the database dictionary should be in the online, and whatever the language you use should always be used to be the query database also. Like the same query language should be used in the both the ways. Got it. And the rule 5 is the most powerful and well structured language. Like one well structured language must be there to provide the database. For example, SQL. Like you should always use the structural oriented language, and it should allow the database should allow access to data. If the database doesn't allow this use of language, then that is a violation. we'll be seeing with the next EF code rules. So the rule 6 is view updation rule. Like all the views which are theoretically updatable should be updated by the system. Like it should be following the consistency. Like if a bank transaction it it debits 1,000 rupees, then a account should also have the account balance minus 1,000 rupees. So the transaction done by the B should always reflects in the transaction of A. That is view updation rule. And rule number 7 is relational level objects. There must be insert, delete, update operations at every level of relation. And you'll also discuss about the set operations like union, intersection, and minus. Every operation should be supported. We'll be seeing about a dedicated video on relational algebra of performing union, intersection, and so on in the next coming videos. The rule 8 states that physical data independence, like the physical storage of data should not matter to the system. Like say a supporting table is renamed or moved, it should not affect the complete application. Like whatever the physical data is stored by external should not affect the application progress and process. And rule number 9 is logical data independence. Like if there is a change in the table structure, but the user view of data should not change. Like if the data, suppose I have application of get result. If I click on result, I should get a serial number, subject, and marks, right? So I am dividing the inner tables as marks greater than 50 and greater than 70. So, but even I have divided this logical data in different tables, I should not see it into two different tables. But whenever I come to the viewing of the data, I should see it as a complete structure, whatever I have designed in the layout. So rule 8 and 9 simply says the application should run independent of both physical data and the logical data. And the rule 10 is integrity independence. Like the database should always be integrity. Like it should follow all the key and check constraints, triggers, that should be stored in the data dictionary. And this makes RDBMS independent of the front end. And rule number 11 is distribution independence. Like a database should work properly regardless of the distribution. It should work equally and the impression that is stored at the same place. Like it's a foundation of the distributed database. Distributed database is a kind of centralized database, like where the database will be from multiple locations and the database should be accessed in any of the cases. Like each and every from stations can access this database. This is central database, okay? And the rule number 1 is non-subversion rule. Like if low level access is allowing to system, it should be bypassing the integrity rules. Like we need to perform some kind of encryption to access all the data. So if it follows less than 6 rules, then we call it as a DBMS, and it follows between 6 to 9 rules, then we call it as a semi DBMS, and greater than 9 rules, then we call it as an RDBMS. So you all know in the starting of the video, Oracle follows 8.5 rules. So it comes under the category of semi DBMS, right? So these are the types of software based on number of rules it follows. We classify the software as DBMS, semi DBMS, and RDBMS. And there is no software that exists of completely following all the 12 rules of the EF code. We'll see with all these in detail. Like rule 0, it to system to qualify database, it should possess the relational capabilities. That is rule 0. And information rule, like all the information should be stored in the tabular format. That is information rule. And rule 2, guaranteed access, like each data should be accessed by the table name, primary key, and the attribute. Rule number 3, the null value should be treated properly. And rule number 4 is active online data. Database dictionary, that means it consists of all the description of the complete database must be stored online. And powerful and well structured language. Like we need to use a powerful, well structured language, and the database should not violate this language, and we should allow access to the data with this use of language throughout the database. And updation rule, like whatever the updates theoretically updated also should be updatable by the system. And relational level operations, at each level of operations we need to perform insert, delete and update operation and set operations on the data. At every level we can update the data. And rule number 8 and 9 are the database application should be independent of both physical data and the logical data. And rule number 10 is integrity independence. Like it should follow all the constraints, triggers, and everything stored in the data dictionary. It enforce own integrity. And distribution independence, like it should work in every location across the network. Even if a database is geographically distributed, it should perform the foundation and it should perform all the principles. Rule number 10, 12 is non-subversion rule. Like the low level access is allowed to a system, it should be able to subvert or bypass the integrity rules to change the data. So if this low level operation has to be performed, this can be achieved by using some kind of encryption. These are all the 12 rules of by EF code. Congratulations on mastering code rules. Just remember them.